In Luke chapter 14, Jesus heals a man with dropsy on the Sabbath in the house of a chief Pharisee. When questioned, he challenges the legalists by asking if it is lawful to heal on the Sabbath. He then uses the example of rescuing an ox or an ass that falls into a pit on the Sabbath to highlight their hypocrisy. He proceeds to teach a lesson on humility, advising guests at a feast to choose the lowest seat so they may be honored rather than shamed. Jesus also instructs hosts to invite the poor, maimed, lame, and blind, promising reward at the resurrection of the just. A man present, hearing these words, blesses those who will eat in the kingdom of God. Jesus responds with the parable of the Great Supper, where a man invites many to a feast, but they all make excuses. One bought land, another oxen, and another just married. Angered, the master sends his servant to bring in the poor and disabled from the streets, and even then, there is room. The master declares that none of the original invitees shall taste of his supper, symbolizing the rejection of the gospel by the self-satisfied and its acceptance by the humble and needy. Jesus then addresses the multitudes, warning them of the cost of discipleship. He teaches that anyone who comes to him must love him above family and even their own life. He illustrates this with the examples of a man building a tower and a king going to war. Both must count the cost before beginning, or risk failure and shame. Likewise, anyone who does not forsake all that he is cannot be his disciple. True discipleship demands total commitment and sacrifice. The chapter concludes with a lesson on salt. Jesus says that salt is good, but if it loses its savor, it is useless and will be cast out. This is a metaphor for disciples who lose their distinctiveness or fail to live up to their calling. He closes with the solemn exhortation, "He that hath ears to hear, let him hear," urging the people to carefully consider the weight of his words and the seriousness of following him. Let's now read Luke chapter 14. And it came to pass, as he went into the house of one of the chief Pharisees to eat bread on the Sabbath day, that they watched him. And, behold, there was a certain man before him which had the dropsy. And Jesus answering spake unto the lawyers and Pharisees, saying, Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath day? And they held their peace. And he took him, and healed him, and let him go. And answered them, saying, Which of you shall have an ass or an ox fallen into a pit, and will not straightway pull him out on the Sabbath day? And they could not answer him again to these things. And he put forth a parable to those which were bidden, when he marked how they chose out the chief rooms, saying unto them, When thou art bidden of any man to a wedding, sit not down in the highest room, lest a more honorable man than thou be bidden of him. And he that bade thee and him come and say to thee, Give this man place, and thou begin with shame to take the lowest room. But when thou art bidden, go and sit down in the lowest room, that when he that bade thee cometh, he may say unto thee, Friend, go up higher, then shalt thou have worship in the presence of them that sit at meat with thee. For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted. Then said he also to him that bade him, When thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind. And thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee, for thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just. And when one of them that sat at meat with him heard these things, he said unto him, Blessed is he that shall eat bread in the kingdom of God. Then said he unto him, A certain man made a great supper, and bade many. And sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it, I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them, I pray thee have me excused. And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come. So that servant came, and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house being angry said to his servant, Go out quickly into the streets and lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor, and the maimed, and the halt, and the blind. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. For I say unto you, that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. And there went great multitudes with him, and he turned, and said unto them, If any man come to me, and hate not his father, and mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. And whosoever doth not bear his cross, and come after me, cannot be my disciple. For which of you, intending to build a tower, sitteth not down first, and counteth the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Lest haply, after he hath laid the foundation, and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, This man began to build, and was not able to finish. Or what king, going to make war against another king, sitteth not down first, and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000? Or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sendeth an ambassage, and desireth conditions of peace. So likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. Salt is good, but if the salt have lost his savor, wherewith shall it be seasoned? It is neither fit for the land, nor yet for the dunghill, but men cast it out. He that hath ears to hear, let him hear. This ends our reading of Luke chapter 14.